Hello, my name is Arthur Wallace. I'm a PE teacher. I'm actually re-recording this because the first recording I did, it was like 17 minutes. At that time, I was in my classroom, but technically, I am on spring break, so I'm just re-recording this so the video goes through rigorously. But firstly, let me discuss about the guidelines for success or mantra. So for me, for my PE class, I want to always make sure that students are safe, make sure there's positivity in the classroom, and the thing that I say and or I reiterate the most for my mantra is um, it sounds kind of cliche, but it's treat others the way you want to be treated, right? The three main factors I hit on or discuss are as follows: respect yourself, respect the equipment, and respect others, right? These three factors I believe is big. These factors are big in PE because I want students to get along with each other, to be amiable towards each other, friendly, benevolent, all the factors of being kind towards one another, saying uh, kind words. This all leads to positive affirmations for students to follow, and or these are my standards. Posted rules. Posted rules are in the locations of my classroom, which we are there for a short amount of time, but it's also located in the gymnasium where we house all of our activities. And it leads to what I just aforementioned with respect yourself, respect the equipment, and respect others. I want students to always be, these are friendly reminders of students' behaviors as they go throughout the course of PE. Attention signal. I have two attention signals, but I call them attention getters. In the gym, in the gym, I use my whistle because the environment is very vociferous. So at that time, instead of yelling and trying to talk over students, while students are in gameplay mode, as I call it, it's very soothing to just blow the whistle. All students must stop everything they're doing, stop talking, and track me to wait for the next set of instructions. My next attention signal is hands. And what this entails is that I tell my students, okay, I'll say hands and I'll raise my hand, and they do the same thing. They'll raise their hand, but in addition, they must stop talking and be laser focused so we can take attendance, do prayer, and I can give them a brief synopsis of what the gist of the day will entail. Expectations of classroom activities and transitions. My expectations of classroom activities are to just follow the rules as we make smooth transitions throughout the course. We'll transition from the classroom after we do prayer and attendance to the court, where students will line up on the baseline to get ready for warm ups. After warm ups, students will transition into the first activity. So these are my expectations every day, and we do this routinely so students are very acclimated to what we do on a daily. Encouragement procedures. Like, for example, during warm ups, I'm always encouraging my students to do better, or encouraging them to have the correct forms. For example, if they're doing push ups, if I see a student having using correct form and doing inaccurate push-ups, I might say, "Hey, Tom, great job, good form," or good rep, good set. If we're in the weight room, and I believe giving direct praise and encouragement, these procedures that I do daily, it galvanizes other students to do the right thing as well. Um, Correction procedures for misbehavior. So if a student is talking out of turn or talking over another student, I will use a proximity technique while in a sense of moving directly towards the student a little bit closer in proximity, not directly addressing them. But I would say, class, make sure you guys are raising your hands if you have a question, and be patient and wait to be called on. So that's kind of like a correction procedure for misbehavior. Also, if it's in the gymnasium and it's pushing, being too aggressive, things of that nature, I'll have a student sit out for like 2 minutes or so they can reflect on their behavior. And then I'll also privately walk over to them and ask them what could they do better, or how could they have handled the situation differently, before letting them join their peers. Beginning and ending routines. Um, Beginning routine is basically, we the way we begin our class each and every day. And ending routines um, is basically focused on how we end the class each and every day. We begin our routines by, you know, um, in the gym by lining up on the baseline. Everyone's focused, turning, facing towards me, so they can see my modeling and tactile approach as far as doing the exercise, or introducing a demonstration to the game that we are about to engage in. And then ending routines is we clean up at the end of the day. Students help each other clean up collectively as a whole, and then students line up by the stairs waiting for my signal to be dismissed at the end of the day. Procedures for managing student work. For me, PE is a lot of it's for my sixth graders. It's solely focused on physical fitness tests, and I do these quarterly. So managing student work, we do the warm ups each and every day. The physical fitness tests, um, we're basically mimicking on the test what we do in warm-ups each and every day. If I add a different exercise during warm-ups for the second quarter, the exercises that I do add, those exercises will be on the next quarterly test, so on and so forth. So the way I manage this is that I make sure my students understand what the correct form is, how to do the warm up correctly, and I also iterate to them that these warm ups are going to be mimicked on. We're going to mimic these warm ups on the tests. So therefore, they kind of have a good understanding, or not kind of. They do have a really good understanding of how to do the warm ups, what it takes to pass opposed to failing. Procedures for managing independent work periods. Independent works For independent work periods, I would say, um, for example, football. When I'm introducing the unit for football, after explaining what we're going to do and how to put your hands on the laces as far as when you throw a pass, how you should have diamond shaped hands when you catch a pass. Individually, I put students in groups, maybe groups of 4 to 5, and I might have maybe 5 different groups of 5, for example. And what's encapsulated in this circle is that students are literally throwing the ball to each individual around the circle. So everyone's getting a chance to put their hands on the laces to demonstrate that they know how to throw the pass. And then also they can demonstrate diamond hands on how to catch the pass. So individually, obviously, they're doing this on their own. They're throwing the ball by themselves. They're catching it by themselves, and that's pretty much for the independent work periods. And that's how I manage it. So let me briefly discuss the responses to the 8 questions. How does your class display respect? They display respect by not talking over each other, being kind, saying please and thank you. How do you monitor and model respectful talk, active listening, and turn taking? Students are to raise their hands daily, Respectfully listen, actively listen to the individual with whom is talking, and give positive feedback. Three, how does your lessons acknowledge students' backgrounds? The units that I cover, it's an array of different sports games, right? So it may be badminton that wasn't founded in the United States. And then I'll also have games, obviously, or sport activities where it was founded in the United States. So there's an array of diversity. Let's see. Describe how you create a pleasant, inviting atmosphere. I greet students at the door with a smile, ask them how was their day, how are they doing, so on and so forth. Always give them positive encouragement, and they know that when they walk into the class, it's a safe and peaceful and tranquil environment. Um, how do I make learning accessible for all students? Learning is accessible because I always encourage them, as well as I let them do demonstrations. I call on students who wants to demonstrate an activity, and even those who do not volunteer, I privately walk around to them, say, "Good job, you're doing good," or if they need to make an adjustment in their body movement or how they're throwing the ball, catching the ball, etc. I modeled the proper way to hold the ball and position their body, and then I want them to show me how they can do it. And once they do it, I give them positive praise. How do you and your students use technology? I use Kahoot a lot of times for quizzes, or also for formative assessments as far as exit slip tickets. Well, um, what is the role in students carrying out the routines? Pretty much just walk the walk and talk the talk. They know my expectations, and they must follow the standards. And when I see them walking the walk and talking the talk of the standards, you know that's sufficient. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Have a great day.